What's up, guys, and welcome to another video. And I've got a very special guest. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, how do I trade? How do I do day trading? Some of you guys are like, okay, I'm a girl. I don't understand what you're saying when you say I need somebody to speak to me differently in a way that I can understand. So I brought on a very special guest, Natoshi from Bitcoin Census, and she's going to be showing you everything to do with trading, scalping, and managing your risk. So thank you for coming to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be on here. So yeah, I do a lot of technical analysis on my YouTube channel. I have live stream from Monday to Friday, 2 times a day. So during London session and during New York session. So I usually go during London because I find the best setups during those times. I also go in a little bit on index pairs as US 30, NASDAQ, SPX 500. If anyone wants me to look at any Forex pair, I can do that, but mostly focused on cryptocurrencies. And then I go in for a New York session when the market is a little bit more volatile for some scalping. So that's basically what I do. So when I started to trade myself, I thought everyone that was talking, it was a little bit hard. So I broke down everything in a very simple way, and this is also how I teach for my community and my YouTube channel, because I know how tough it can be. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for people when they're joining me, so they don't get confused. So that is definitely something that I try to provide on extremely much on my channel, to just simplify everything, because we all know that trading overall is really hard.
Well, that's a good point that you make, because so many people like to use like big words just to seem a lot smarter than they actually are,
Yeah, so I don't want to do that. So when everyone comes to me, they feel like they already know how to do it. So that's a good thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what are we taking a look at today? We're taking a look at, let's have a look at some stocks as well, because I know we want to go for look at the crypto. We'll have a look at that as well, guys. But I don't get involved in FX, but I'm here to learn. So I'll be very interested to see on your perspectives of where the market's going, especially because Michael Burry's got a big short on right now on the S&P 500 as well, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll show. So when I go in, so let me go directly to, so I usually focus a lot on NASDAQ. So I go into the lower time frames to scalp the market. So on the higher time frames perspective, what we have at the time, we did face a pretty strong level here at 15,600. So this is actually a level I have been waiting for the market to pull back up to for a very long time. And we finally did that. And the market started to give us some real big momentum now, because we're testing the previous resistance, right? So I'm price action trader. I do everything. I use Fib a lot. You may be already knowing that, but this is the one that's guiding me to all of the different levels that I'm using. But because I'm not always 24/7 on my channel going live, so what I do now is that I like to go in for scalping during New York session opening. So yesterday, me and my community, we did have a live stream where when the market does kick in during New York session, we have a lot of volatility. But what I do love with US 30 NASDAQ is that they're moving extremely good with market structure. So even if it's very volatile and you can lose a lot of money, obviously, with it, when you just know how it's moving, it is very simple. So this is what I started with back in 2019 too, when I started to trade. But basically yesterday, so when we're scalping, we go down from 5 minutes to 1 minute. So we did have a sideways market where the market were in. So we saw how the market was bouncing between 15,000 and 14,000, so 14,900. As you can see, we saw the market try to break this level a couple of times. So I told everyone that we're waiting for the market to break the sideways market, because we all know what happens with a sideways market. Is just bouncing in between the support and resistance zone. So we saw the market had this big momentum afterwards, but we didn't care about that. So yesterday we saw how the market was going sideways, and I told everyone that we'll either sell the market or we're going long in the market. But we have to wait for a perfect breakout, and you usually have a quick retest, and then you see the market have a big drop back down to previous support and resistance zones that we did have back. I don't want to go back the whole, but I had a target for the short at 14,946. But as you can see, we saw the market try to break the level, but we then had the next candlestick closing inside, which tells me that this is not a valid short position. And then we finally have the momentum and breaking above this previous high that we did have at 15. So we did have the confirmation candlestick right here, the one that broke above it, and then we had a small retest of the level. So this was the entry point that we did have at 15,015. So looking back in time, using Fibonacci also, I told everyone that when the market is retesting, we're closing above, we're going in for a long position. So with this movement, we did have 355 pips, which was really good. It took us 6 minutes before the market took the take profit. So we were really happy. But just zooming out on the higher time frames perspective, we saw then how the market did have this big momentum to the upside once again. And, you know, based of that, we saw how the market came down, retested a previous support level down at 14,500. So usually, when you're back testing it and overall from support, you have a bounce to a other resistance. And this was exactly what we did have. So we did have a perfect retest at 15,270 once again. So today, or not today, but for the rest of the days, we're going to go in for some more scalping sessions during New York session opening, based of that the cryptocurrencies is not doing so much right now, but I still want to provide with some other things on my channel when the market is very, very stagnant. So this is it's you don't have to trade it. I'm not saying that anyone has to trade it, but it's definitely fun to see some movements happening on the charts when the market, because even on the lower time frames on BTC, when New York session kicks in, we don't see the market do anything specific on the currencies either. So that's why I choose to go on the index pairs. But for anyone that want to know my perspective when it comes to BTC, as I said, I follow structure 100%. So this is also something that taught me being a better trader, is when I follow the technical tools to 100, because at that point I don't include my own emotions. So basically we can see how the market was in a big uptrend, and I remember this was 2 years ago. I remember when the market created this high, I told everyone the market will drop, and no one believed me. So I had some people that got mad at me when I told the market was supposed to have this big drop, and eventually, we had that. And at this time, you can see that this Fibonacci level, because Fib is giving you the direction where the lower high is for a short or a higher low for the long positions. And no matter how much we want the market to go up, the market still has to break certain levels for us to have that confirmation. And at the time, we can see that we are still now about to create a lower high level. As long as we're not breaking above 35,800 and create this as a potential higher low, then we're talking about some movement to the upside. But if we are following structure at this time, the market is right now, we can definitely have a push up to this level. Let's see, to up to 35,900, potentially have a breakout. But remember also, when it comes to crypto, we have a lot of fake outs, which means the market can it breaks the level, but the next coming candlestick is closing the low, and then you have this big momentum. So while everyone think the market is going crazy now and everyone starts to go long, the market reverses. So if you don't know about these levels and the technicals about it, then you will get faked out and you will lose money with that. And this is something that I always talk about because I know the hype people have, but I really try to make them understand that the technicals will always guide you. And when you follow the technicals, you will most of the time not lose as much money as you can do if you don't know about it, right? So let me just see if we have a support trend line right here. We are testing the trend line at this time. So we're testing the trend line in the uptrend. So on the weekly chart, we can still see that we are in the uptrend, but we did fail to break above this high at 30,300, which means that we could potentially have another drop now. If the market is going to reverse the trend, you know, I do not know if that's going to happen. That's why I'm using these levels. So looking at what we have here too, by just using the Fibonacci, because we can still see how this is a higher low, we're connected with a higher high. So if the market's going to continue to the upside, I strongly believe we need to drop down to 28,330 and 27,525. And from here, also, you just might see a fake out. Market then climbs inside of the fib level and pushes up to the higher time frames perspective Fibonacci levels for then the reverse down. So there's a lot of movements the market needs to do in between these levels. So if the market starts to drop a lot now, a lot of people will think, yeah, okay, the market's just going to crash. But then from nowhere, you see the market pull back up. And that's because we're testing the high low level, because the uptrend on the weekly is not done yet, because we need to test maybe the monthly Fibonacci level for that reverse down. So this is what I'm expecting the market to do now. I do believe that we will continue to have another drop, because this is also connecting very good with the trend line that the market most of the time drops down to retest. So a little bit more bull at bearish momentum at the time, then we obviously have to see around these levels at 28,350 if we will have a reverse. But these ones will guide us, these levels will guide us to what can happen next. And taking away your emotions, this is going to be very easy.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's a very intelligent approach that you're taking, because you're just using data instead of using your emotions. And like you said, you know, the last time we was at all-time high, you was using data to back up your decision, and people were getting upset with their emotions, and you see how that turns out, right? The market went south. So yeah, I completely agree. And this also aligns with what we see on this channel with the EMA, and that the clouds getting thinner. You know, the structure does look like we need a spring, you know, and yeah, absolutely amazing perspective.
Oh, thank you so much. And one of the things that, you know, when we are in these sideways markets that I just want to show everyone that's looking, is that even if the market is going in the sideways market, we can still use the benefit of the fake out. So I always use the previous resistance. In this case, you can see how the market tried to break it, and then market drops down. So by just using previous support and resistance zones, when the market tries to break these levels, you always see how the market tried to break it, and then you have a pullback up to retest that exact level, and then you see the market drop. So if you want to trade the market on the lower time frames, we can always use the fake outs as guidance, you know. So this is also some.
It's like fractals, right? Like the even on the monthly time frame, you might be using a similar structure that you might be trading on the 5 minute, where it just takes the monthly time frame longer to play out with the same structure.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely learned with Fibonacci how to combine the higher time frames with the lower time frames. So it's just a connection. Everything is connected in one way or another. So that was basically how I was able to understand the market movement. So yeah, that's what I have.
That's very smart. It's very smart. Thank you very much for showing us the strategies. And where can people find more information?
So you have my YouTube channel, Natoshi. Hopefully Terrell will also give you it in his description down below my video, his video. So that's where you'll find me. I also have Twitter where I give a lot of daily updates with charts when I don't give videos or live streams. So, I just update over there a lot on my Twitter account too. So it's Natoshi on each and every platform that you'll find me on.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for showing us all of this amazing value, and let's do this again sometime. Hopefully
Yes.
there's some more momentum in the crypto market, right? We can start doing some more stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, what was you gonna say?
No, not definitely. We have to do that, and hopefully we will see some movements soon.
Yeah, otherwise we'll all be on the S&P at this rate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much and peace. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.